we have achieved $8.45 billion worth of seafood exports. This is the highest ever since 1950s we started exporting. So as all the stakeholders, I would say that I would request that we must congratulate ourselves by putting together our hands. So you can see the pattern of our exports for the last 12 years, and it's going up more or less every year. So last year, we achieved $8.45 billion. And where does India stand in the global market? The global market is about $200 billion worth of seafood is being traded, and India is the fourth in position, and 4% in terms of market share. And our top four markets are USA, China, Vietnam, and Japan, which has a share of about 59%. That's where more than half of our exports are going. And USA has 28%, around 30% market share. And you can see on the right-hand side the processing infrastructure we have, as well as the production, seafood production from the marine capture fisheries, as well as from the shrimp aquaculture. So these figures are very evident here, so I don't need to read out and repeat. And if you see on the left-hand side bottom, you can see a column where I've given the share of value-added products, especially under Chapter 16, which requires more effort, more preparation. There, our share is not very impressive, which is less than 3%, which means there is considerable scope to increase value addition. If we increase value addition, it's not only the price and the markets will be able to reach more markets, it will give a lot of employment also. So there is a huge opportunity for us to increase value addition and benefit entire society. And we are talking about sustainable production. This is the way to go forward. We talked about the top 4 markets. How about top 10 markets, top 20 markets? We are exporting to around 130 countries. Top 10 markets control almost 78-80% of our market share. And top 20 markets control about 90% of our market share. And you can see we are exporting to almost all the continents except Antarctica and Arctic. So most of the countries are our, customers. As you can see China and USA are the top 2, followed by Vietnam. If you see in a market perspective, USA is the number 1, China is the second, and European Union is the third largest. Which are the major product groups or the items product groups we call them as items for ease of understanding, which are contributing to this $8.5 billion exports? You can see frozen shrimp. The blue bar chart gives the quantity. The red line gives the value in US dollars. Shrimp is the major contributor. We will see more detail about shrimp in other couple of slides later. Then comes your dried item, where fish meal is a major item, and frozen fish, frozen cuttlefish, frozen squid. All these 5 items are the major contributors to our export. Which are the major markets in terms of market, not country? You can see the topmost country is USA, followed by China, European Union, and Southeast Asia and Japan. These are our Middle East, of course it is there, and rest of the countries come under the others. Out of 130s, after these 6 markets, the rest of the countries come under others. And coming to shrimp, which is our most important item of exports, we export almost 60% of our exports. In terms of 66% of our exports is shrimp in terms of value, US dollar value. And you can see on the right hand side which are the major markets and what is the quantity absorbed by these markets, and what is our standing in the global shrimp trade. Around $31 billion worth of seafood is being traded. We control around 17 to 18% of the market. And our major shrimp item is shrimp product. Shrimp species are Vanamai shrimp, which all of us know, followed by black tiger shrimp and our Indian species. And there was a increase of 8.65 percentage, 64 percentage when compared to the previous year in terms of US dollar. And unit value also has increased, as you can see here. Let us do some product analysis. This is the first part of the product analysis we will do for shrimp. Thereafter, we will go to the cephalopods or squid and cuttlefish. And after each product analysis, we will also look at some market analysis. You can see the 5 top products of shrimp which is being exported from India and what is their share. You can see 50% of our exports, shrimp exports, is contributed by these 5 products. And I'm sure you are able to understand what I have written. IQF means individually cooked frozen, PD peeled deveined, tail off, and headless shell on, HLSO, and cooked peeled deveined tail on, and headless head on shell on black tiger, that is HOSO BT. So these are the products out of 474 products, close to 500 products India is exporting. 5 products control or have a market share of 50% in terms of US dollar as well as quantity. That's an important insight I would request you to have. Now let us look at the one product which is a Chapter 16 value added product. It is a cooked product, cooked PDTO. And we will look at a couple of markets. Here I would present on the Belgium market and who are our competitors in these markets, top competitors, and how they are performing. You can see on the right side what is the performance of these competitors vis-a-vis India in the Belgium market. Our competitors in the Belgium market for the cooked PDTO is Vietnam and Netherlands, and you can see the CAGR, that is the last 5 years average growth rate, cumulative average growth rate on the last column. There you can see India has grown by 21.54%. That's an impressive growth. And I would also invite your attention to the last line where India's performance for the last 5 years is 6 years is given. And you can see last year 15.76 million. The year before that it was $7.85 million. So there is a jump. All of us know why there is a jump, because we diversified our exports away from US market to other markets, and Belgium was one of the markets. So that's very important insight. If India wants, we can diversify also. That's a very important lesson for all of us here. Now, let us look at, where did we get our market share? We have written the Netherlands share. You can see a Netherlands share is coming down during the last 5 years. And we have written. And another point I would like you to keep in mind is that once the EU-India FTA is in place, we will get further advantage in terms of zero import duty. So we can further increase our market share and market growth in European Union. Now, let us look at the other market, France. France tells us a different story. There, our competitor is again Netherlands and Vietnam. Vietnam has a zero duty, import duty, because Vietnam has a FTA with European Union. So they are in an advantageous position. Even then, India has achieved better growth rate. You can see our CAGR is 9.26. So that's a very good, impressive. But here, the growth is more sustainable. But in the previous slide, if you see, our growth was steep during the last 2 years. Probably the reason is that Belgium is a trading hub, so there is a lot of import jump happening in Belgium. Here it is mostly consumption, local French consumption. Coming to the last market, which is also very interesting for us because our share is major. We can't export raw shrimp to Australia because of the biosecurity reasons. But we can export value-added cooked products. And the market is as good as either France or Belgium's, over $100 million. The first row you can see. And our growth is very impressive in terms of CAGR, but in terms of actual number, it's not very impressive. It is only $0.74 million, not even $1 million. But our competitors, where we have three competitors, all from Asia, they have very impressive export figures. But you can see Thailand and China, the growth during the last 5 years is not so good. So why did I show this slide? The reason is that India and Australia has a free trade agreement. You can see Australia-India ECTA, which gives us duty-free access to the market. So this is some of the product where we have a better edge. Our competitors are not performing well, and we have an opportunity there. So this is a very important insight, and that is the importance of FTA. FTA gives us a more opportunity to get more exports into that market. Now let us look at the second category of the product. Let's do a product analysis. Here also, if you look at the products, top 5 products control the major share in the market. In terms of value, over 60%, in terms of quantity, over 52%. So that's an important message we have. And you can't see any Chapter 16 products, high value added products here. We have maximum, we'll say that cuttlefish cubes or some few items only are actually, we have done some value addition. That means there is opportunity for us to do more value addition, more Chapter 16 products, more opportunities. Now, this is squid. Squid, you can see again, 5 products control almost 80% of our market share. And most of these cuttlefish and squid goes to Europe. And let us look at our markets. 2-3 markets we will see. First is Spain. We can see the frozen cuttlefish and squid. This is a major competitor is China. When we looked at our other Asian competitors, whether it is Indonesia, Vietnam, or any other market, one surprising thing we found out was that a lot of cuttlefish and squid is getting exported to China from these countries. And China do value addition, they do consume locally, and they also export to Europe, especially to Italy and other countries. So that's a very interesting thing. So we can also do the same thing in India, because India also allows import of these products, and we can do value addition. If you remember my first slide, I have shown the processing capacity, and we have used only 30% of our processing capacity during the off season. So there is an opportunity here. And definitely India EU FTA will give us an opportunity to increase our market share. Now let's look at Italy, very important market for us. They import close to $1 billion worth of cuttlefish and squid, and our share is around $127 million, and we are growing at a reasonable rate, 14%. It's a comparatively good rate during the last 5 years. And there is definitely an opportunity, because other countries other than Spain, there is a good opportunity for us to compete with them. And Spain is also a processor. They import from other countries, process it, value add, and send to Italy also. So there is an opportunity for us to enter the market in a big way, and we are closely working with the Importers Association, Asoitica, in Italy. This is again Australia. Australia is an important market, potential market for us. In that terms, it's an important market. And India's share is very less, but look at the growth rate. Last 5 years CAGR, we have very good double-digit growth, almost 25% plus growth. There is opportunity for us to, if you see the bottom line of the line graph where India is standing, it is almost flat. There is considerable scope to increase. If we go into further value addition, there is considerable scope to increase. You see the top line, the market is improving, but we are not improving. So there is an opportunity. The free trade agreement is there. There is an opportunity to increase the market share. This is a brief idea about the market, and I hope you could understand, you could get some meaning out of it. And thank you very much for your patient listening. Thank you.